3, we use TH. So always the TH in the English has some kind of a th sound, but it's different depending on the way the word is structured. But in Arabic, it provides you with exactly the way to say the kind of TH you want to say. So let's put the couple of them down for you to take a look at so that we get a better idea about fall. What is that? Is a real nice, it's almost like a Z. Some people pronounce it like Z. And this the sound is heavy. We've got another sound like this. Watch this one. He also is a the. You remember this one? This is the one that goes that. And he's like this, that, these, and those. And then we had, look at this one. 3 with. So all of these give this the sound. The and the and the. Almost like a Z, but not quite. So there you are, to give you a little taste of how to pronounce those. Now let's talk about the fact that none of these guys like to shake hands with anybody on their left side. They'll only hook up on the right side. So that's why whenever you write these letters, they can't connect to the next guy. But they can connect from before, and we'll do that again. We'll show you what happens when you connect a ba. So this ba, and this would be pronounced oo at that stage. So this would be boo. That would be boo. Now let's put another ba and put a ra. That's bar. Bar. Let's put another ba. This time we're going to put a za. That's baz. Let's put a da, but we'll bring a ba up to him too the same way. See, it can connect. That's bad. And now bad. Bad. It's because you got this up there. See the dot. Bad. Bad and bad. So this is how you connect them, and they don't connect to anybody to their left side. If I stopped right there, I think this would be a great segment for you, but we got another letter. I love this guy because he is so versatile. I think maybe if anybody else was going to be called Wow, we should have called him Wow. Because this guy, by himself, he looks like this. Well, you say, now wait a minute, what's so wow about that? Why didn't you put him with the circle family that we had a while ago with the round circles? He would have fit right in. And by the way, his name is Ha. Ha. And you're going to say, whoa, wait a minute. We already did Ha. Remember this guy right here, this one? That was Ha. No, that was Ha. Remember I told you it's like when you blow on your glasses. That's Ha. This guy is just like Ha. Like ha. This is Ha Ha. Okay? Ha. Right there. Now, the difference is in the way they look and the way they sound. Ha and Ha. That's why we put this like that. Ha and Ha. Now, you might say, well, okay, I agree with you, the sound is different, but why didn't you put him in there with circle guys? Well, guess what? This guy, he's a master of disguise. By himself, that's how he looks. But when he starts off the sentence, you remember what happens when, for instance, Ba starts out, he looks like that, doesn't he? And you remember what Ya, he looks like that, doesn't he? And then whenever we've got Noon, he looks like that, right? So how do you think this guy looks when he starts a sentence? Do you think he looks like this, which has like that? We've got the Qaf, which has like that. This guy will surprise you. What he's going to do is so amazing. I'm going to switch colors and show you how amazing he can be. He puts his hand up over his head like this. And it goes like that. Let me give you a demonstration of what that would be like. It's like if I go like this over my head. See how I'm doing that? Look how his hand is like. He's got this over his head and reaching out like that. Look at that. This is how he is. There, you could almost like, there he is. See? That's how he starts a sentence out. But whenever he's in the middle of a sentence, he has two disguises. he can go like this. That's one way. Or he may like to just go like this. And that's another way. And then when he ends a sentence, he can go like that. All of these are the same guy in disguise. Beginning of the sentence, ha. And then in the middle, ha ha. And at the end, ha. That's the best name for this guy because he likes to have a lot of laughs. And in his disguises, he will surprise you. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. And we're going to take a break and let you wrap up with what we've been doing in these segments and put all the letters together. One final little character, he's not a letter, his name is Hamza. Hamza, and all he is a hiccup. He's a hiccup. Go like this. That's Hamza. And we're going to get into how Hamza works with the other letters when we come back after this. So we're going to take a little break, give you time to write some of this down, and we'll be back. We're back, and you've been watching Arabic and English, using what you know in English to try to learn something about the Arabic language. That was a pretty interesting segment of our episode today. Now what we'd like to do is, and I keep saying we, don't I? Well, while you were watching that, we were making some changes too, and with me now is none other than Sheikh Mutar. Mutar Sabri is back with us, and he also did a quick change, and he's back from Curacao. Obviously, you know, we were watching a video that we'd done in the past, and it gave us a chance to have a little fun with the technology that we have around here and give our editors something to do. Now what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about what happened there in Curacao. You know, so many of those people stood up. There's 135 people that stood up there and all declared their faith, that there's no God to worship except Allah, and that Muhammad's his messenger. And when we kicked it off, it was the part where you were talking about when in the prison. Yes. And I was telling them they have to learn to do dawah, and they were saying, how? We're in prison. How could we possibly give the dawah?
That's right, and that was one of our most memorable experiences in our visits to the prisons, as we shared with the people of Curacao there, when we encouraged the inmates to tell their families to go to the website. We never expected that they would do that, but in fact one did, and of course his sister went to the website, printed the material off, and against the advice of her brother, who was the inmate, she read the material, and as a result...
I like that part, though. I like that part where you say, and whatever you do, don't read it, because what are they going to do? They're going to read it. What do they call it? Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology, that's right. And as a result, as we mentioned there, that she did become a Muslim.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, I'm responsible for visiting quite a few of our prisons. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to know, Sheikh, you having visited many colleges and universities, have you ever had any experiences like that?
Well, actually, there is something that happened right over at George Mason University. There was one young man who was the head of an organization, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, but we call him anti-Islam, because anytime we would try to do any kind of program, he would try to sabotage it and do things against, you know, the efforts that we were trying to make, and destroy things, steal things, just, you know, it was a real pest. But everybody was trying to be nice to him, and they trying to show the good character of a Muslim in spite of what people might do. So he takes these videos that we had. We had some videotapes, and he took all of them so that we didn't have anything to give away for the people who came to visit. And he thought he was being cool, and he even told his friends, I'm going to record my musical videos over these tapes. Ha, ha, ha. So then one day, one of his friends was talking to him and about how much he hated Islam and was against Muslims and all. And so this guy was telling him, well, if you feel like that, how come your sister is a Muslim now? Well, how did that come about? He said, one time I took all of those videotapes away from those Muslim guys. And I took the tapes I was going to record over them. But before I could record her over all of them, my sister pulled out one of them and she stuck it in the TV, you know, the VCR player. And she watched it, and she accidentally became a Muslim. I don't know how you can accidentally become a Muslim. Well, that's what he said. She accidentally became a Muslim. So that was another kind of
a strange quirk of the way that things go. One of the things I believe that's really important for us to keep in mind is that, and a lot of times we know it, we think about it, but we don't mention it. We should mention this. In Islam, nobody can be forced to come into Islam. And it's impossible because Islam means the willful submission to God on His terms. And you cannot willfully submit if somebody's forcing you. It's the opposite.
That's correct.
So, therefore, nobody can be forced to go into Islam. In fact, that's what Allah says in the Quran. La ikraha fid din. This means that there is no compulsion forcing anybody to submit to Allah. Of course, if you understand that, it means, though, if you do choose to submit, then you have to totally become a Muslim. So it's not like a scapegoat narration in the Quran that says that, okay, Muslims don't have to practice Islam. Some might say, oh, la ikraha fid din, I don't have to wear hijab, the covering,
yes,
and I don't have to pray 5 times a day. Why? Well, you can't force me because la ikraha fid din. No, la ikraha fid din is very clear, meaning that once you know who God is and what His conditions are, what your purpose of life is, once you understand that, then you have a responsibility to totally submit. And if you do that, it's complete. You can't say, well, la ikraha fid din, I can take it and leave it and do what I like. So that's one statement I think has to be cleared up, that nobody can be forced into Islam. There's another point, too, though. I'd like to mention this, and that is, a lot of people see you and I, we're out here talking with so many people. They come to Islam, and they'll say, well, how many people did you guide to Islam? How many people did you guide? And what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that I don't guide anyone, that Allah guides to Islam.
That's exactly true. That's exactly what anybody who does what we do knows that. But a lot of people think that we're out here guiding the people, that we're more or less even coercing them or doing a salesmanship routine on them, getting them to come into Islam. And nothing could be further from the truth, because if we did this kind of a routine on somebody and they came into Islam based on that, they wouldn't be in Islam anyway. Because as we said a few minutes ago, that the idea of going into Islam is you choose to submit to God on His terms. You're doing what He wants you to do. And if you did that, then you would be voluntarily submitting. And as such, in Arabic, aslama. And that's where Islam comes from. So when people say, well, how many people were guided by you or guided by what you did? I say, no. Allah guides the people. Not me.
That's right.
Our job is what?
To give the message.
That's it. We're messengers. We're messengers. And we try our best to deliver it in the best way. And then what the people do with the message after they get it's up to them. So that's pretty much it. But it was great to be in Curacao with you. I really enjoyed being down there.
That was one of our first trips together. And to see the receptivity of the people.
Oh, you mean out of the country like that? Yeah, yeah. Because, man, tell me trips. I drove all over to South Carolina with you.
That's correct.
And some of the time you were awake.
We visited 11 prisons in 3 days.
This man.
And I don't think
this man sleeps when he drives. Shh, don't tell anybody. You've been watching Bridge to Faith with Yusuf Estes, with Tahir Sabri. It's been our pleasure once again to be with all of you. We ask Allah, the Almighty One God, to guide all those who seek truth to the right path, to the right bridge, to get to the right faith. Until next time, from me and from him.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.